Francisco Franco, born on December 4, 1892, in Ferrol, Spain, emerged as one of the most significant and controversial figures in Spanish history. His life and career spanned tumultuous times, from the early 20th century through the mid-1970s, leaving an indelible mark on the nation he came to rule. Franco's leadership during the Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, and his subsequent nearly four-decade-long dictatorship shaped the destiny of Spain and earned him both admiration and condemnation. In this comprehensive biography, we delve into the multifaceted life of Francisco Franco, exploring his early years, military prowess, political ascent, and the socio-political landscape of Spain during his rule. Francisco Paulino Hermenegildo Teodulo Franco Bahamonde was born into a middle-class family with strong military ties. His father, Nicolás Franco, was a naval officer, and this familial connection to the military would play a pivotal role in shaping young Francisco's destiny. Franco attended the Infantry Academy in Toledo, where he displayed a natural aptitude for military strategy and leadership. His early military career coincided with significant events in Spanish history, including the Spanish-American War and the Rif War in Morocco. Franco distinguished himself in Morocco, earning a reputation as a capable and determined officer. His success on the battlefield earned him promotions and the respect of his peers, but it was also in Morocco that he developed a conservative and authoritarian worldview that would later define his political ideology. The Spanish Civil War erupted in 1936, marking a critical turning point in Franco's life and in the history of Spain. The conflict emerged as a result of deep-seated political and social divisions, with Republicans and nationalists vying for control. Franco, then a general in the Spanish army, aligned himself with the Nationalists, a faction composed of conservative, monarchist, and fascist forces. Franco's military prowess quickly became evident as he led the Nationalists to a series of victories. The brutal and protracted conflict witnessed atrocities on both sides, with Franco's forces employing ruthless tactics to secure victory. The Nationalists ultimately triumphed in 1939, and Franco assumed leadership of the Spanish state. Franco's victory in the Spanish Civil War marked the beginning of a dictatorial regime that would endure until he died in 1975. Establishing the Spanish state, he concentrated power in his hands, dismantling democratic institutions and suppressing political opposition. Their regime was characterized by censorship, repression, and the suppression of regional autonomy. Franco implemented a policy of autarky, seeking economic self-sufficiency through protectionist measures. His government pursued conservative social policies, emphasizing traditional Spanish values and promoting Catholicism as a unifying force. The dictatorship also left an enduring impact on the Spanish education system, as Franco sought to instill a nationalist and conservative ideology in the younger generation. While Franco initially adopted a policy of neutrality during World War II, his sympathies leaned toward the Axis powers. Despite his ideological alignment with fascism, Franco refrained from direct involvement in the conflict, recognizing the precarious position of Spain, still recovering from the Civil War. However, his government provided diplomatic and logistical support to Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. Franco's diplomatic maneuvering allowed Spain to remain largely untouched by the devastation of World War II. After the war, his regime faced isolation and international criticism, but Franco skillfully navigated the post-war geopolitical landscape, avoiding the punitive measures faced by other fascist leaders. Franco's economic policies were marked by a blend of autarky and limited liberalization. In the early years of his regime, he implemented protectionist measures and centralized economic planning. However, facing economic difficulties, particularly in the 1950s, Franco gradually shifted towards a more open economic policy. The Stabilization Plan of 1959 marked a turning point, introducing market-oriented reforms and encouraging foreign investment. This shift contributed to Spain's economic recovery, leading to a period of sustained growth known as the Spanish Miracle. The economic transformation during this period laid the foundation for Spain's later integration into the European Economic Community in 1986. Franco's dictatorship had a profound impact on Spanish society, shaping cultural and social norms for decades. The regime sought to impose a rigid conservative ideology, suppressing dissent and promoting a homogenized national identity. The repression extended to regional cultures, languages, and traditions, particularly targeting Catalonia and the Basque Country. Censorship was a hallmark of Franco's rule, with strict control over media, literature, and the arts. Many intellectuals, artists, and writers faced persecution, leading to a climate of self-censorship and artistic conformity. Despite these constraints, some artists managed to express dissent through subtle allegories and coded messages in their works. As Franco aged, speculation and uncertainty grew regarding the future of Spain after his eventual departure. In 1969, Franco designated Prince Juan Carlos as his successor, a move that surprised many given Juan Carlos's lack of political experience and Franco's preference for a more authoritarian successor. Franco died on November 20, 1975, at the age of 82. Juan Carlos ascended to the throne, ushering in a period of transition known as the Spanish Transition. Under Juan Carlos's leadership, Spain moved towards democracy, and the 1978 Constitution established the framework for a parliamentary monarchy. Franco's legacy remains a subject of intense debate in Spain. Supporters credit him with stabilizing the country after the Civil War, preventing the spread of communism, and initiating economic reforms that laid the groundwork for future prosperity. Critics, on the other hand, emphasize the repression, human rights abuses, and the suppression of regional identities that occurred under his regime. The controversial Valley of the Fallen, a monumental basilica built by Franco's orders to commemorate those who died in the Civil War, continues to be a divisive symbol. The site includes the dictator's tomb, and debates about its preservation, demolition, or transformation into a memorial for reconciliation persist. Francisco Franco's life and rule encapsulate a complex and tumultuous period in Spanish history. From his early military career to the Spanish Civil War and his lengthy dictatorship, Franco played a decisive role in shaping the nation. His legacy, marked by authoritarianism, repression, and economic transformation, continues to elicit strong emotions and differing opinions. Understanding Franco requires a nuanced examination of the historical context, the complexities of the Spanish Civil War, and the lasting impact of his policies on Spain's social, cultural, and political fabric. As Spain navigated the challenges of the post-Franco era and embraced democracy, the echoes of his regime persisted, making Franco a figure whose influence can still be felt in contemporary Spain.